So, back on the field, I had that Queen Elizabeth I, should we call it Protestant 3p, and back on the buttons again. This one's got a bit of gilding on. So, let's see if anything else pops out in amongst all the buttons. That was a fairly deep 14 signal, and it's a bit of shaped lead. Yeah. Very strange, very strange. Tiny bit of a clog clasper now. And then out of the blue, another strong signal like last time I was on with the silver shilling, and this time it's the ubiquitous there's Britannia, the ubiquitous George III halfpenny. They must have made these in the multi-millions. There you can just see his face to the right. There's a little smile on his face. Well, as you can see from the spoils, that 4-hole button took quite a bit of finding. Very faint signal. In the hole, there's a bit of pottery. Three completely different pieces, which is interesting. So, activity area. Another clog clasp. Yeah, these are the buttons that tease you that they might be hammered coins when they're kind of coming out through the dirt. But no, it's a tom back button, and this one's actually got the loop there. Look at these smart little soldiers stood to attention. Look like the setting of a science fiction film. Soon be Christmas. Look at that. Very nice. So I'm just in a bit of a overgrown section with stinging nettles. They're just dying off a bit in winter, so been able to get in. Sharp signal. Yeah, it'll be one of the Georges. From the shape of it, probably not a George III. It's a bit slightly ovalish, not quite as good round. So I reckon that'll be probably a George II. Yeah, I'll show you what I've had. A few little finds, but nothing major yet. Well, is it? Yeah, as you maybe ought to tell from my voice, I'm a little bit shocked. I had a horse's head thing a while back. Really struggled to date it. Probably medieval, more than likely, but could be older. And here's another one with a very similar design. Must have been a bit of a thing. So I'll have to put these side by side and compare them. But how weird is that? So, but yeah, nice artifact. Be nicer if you could actually date it, but what's a boy to do? Right, so I said I'd have a little bit of a review. Quite a long pipe stem, thin one, so that's probably you know, like an older one, a younger one rather than the fatter older one. There's that probably George II. That was our button. Had that, don't know what that, yep, probably a bit of a thimble, don't know what that is. Another button. Sort of giggling in the background. That was deep, a bit of lead. So, but those are the type of signals, if you're finding that 12-13 inches down, then those are the signals that you want. And I found that iffy signal near where I found a Roman item. So that could be a Roman nail, but yeah, better minds than me. That wasn't far off. Bit of a nail. Looks handmade, doesn't it? So yeah. So just scratching around iffy signals and whatnot in the hope of these little rare hammereds. But that's the star of the show by some distance, isn't it? So we'll put it separate to rattling around with the other stuff. Bye for now. And then not far from that horse's head I've got this thing. Is that a simplified bird motif? And then that's the back. It was obviously some kind of mount. It's not precious metal. I think that's like a bird motif. I don't think it's just a blob. Looks like with those two things on the back it was mounted. Shame it's not gold and jewelled, but there you go. Again, it's an artifact. Useless with artifacts. Yeah. Yeah, really useless. I don't think it's Bronze Age. I don't think it's Victorian. It's probably some in between. And now a clog clasp. So yeah, there is definitely old activity. Well, we know that already, don't we? Another clog clasp. Well, it's going to be dark soon. Little clog clasp. But let's have a little look at this nice blue sky. Look at those smudged clouds. Isn't that beautiful? Well, not getting a lot of vitamin D on my bonds, but getting a little bit. Look at that. Little rounded tomback button. That wasn't a great signal, but we dig them. Get nearly 4 o'clock. Just had this. That is some kind of crude brooch. So I don't know if that means it's old. I don't know if they're just swirls or whether they were supposed to have something in. I'll have a quick look in the hole, but I can't see anything shiny poking up. Again, it's not precious metal, so it's not surviving. But what is that? Is that Victorian, or are we talking some age? Hey ho. So back out for a few hours before the World Cup starts. On that field where I had that horse face thing, the second one. Apparently it's probably a medieval belt slider. Just had that out, quite a loud signal, and it's quite heavy. I thought it was the shape of a musket ball, but looks like it's the end of something. No idea of the age, no markings on it. So we're on our field with lots of well, I'll say lots, with medieval finds on. So there's a clog clasp, and it's gripping into a bit of, I'd think, leather. Oop. So there we go. So is that part of the shoe? Was the shoe made of leather? Or was that like the strapping of the shoe? Was the shoe wood? Look at that. That would appear to definitely be leather, that. Yeah. On to the next one. Unsurprisingly, that took a while to find. Look at the size of the darn thing. I assume that's a button. But why on earth would you make buttons that small? Is that for a fine lady's dress at the neck or something? I mean, what the heck? Look at the state of that. That's tiny. Oh well. Okay, so we're back home, and these are the interesting items that I had from that field where I had the Queen Elizabeth I threepence, 1575. So I think that's a bit of red cut glass, is it? You might just be able to catch a little bit of gold on there. Strange, either it's battered or misshapen or crikey knows what. We have a look at the back. There's a bit of an intricate design there, that's quite nice. Yeah, I don't know if it would come up out any better, but yeah, it's quite fine there. So yeah, long past its best day. That was from a previous trip there. It was in that little case. Yeah, it's probably more modern, but funny looking thing, that, isn't it? The two piece, that's quite heavy at that end. White, I don't know, seems to be made, it's like two different things, isn't it? That's totally smooth, and then that's one or whatever, I don't know, whatever that is. There was that tiny little button. Pleased to find it, but there's quite a lot of detail on that. But it's not a hammered silver coin, is it? And then there's that, some kind of bird. I don't know if it's an eagle or what. Some kind of bird mount, decorative mount. What that would have looked like new, and exactly how old it is, who knows? But it's quite naive, so it could be reasonably old. And then there's that horse head belt slider. Yeah, it's I said I'd find another, so here's one I prepared earlier. So this is the one that I had previous, and that's it's in better condition. I don't know if it's pretty much the same manufacturer or what. Is it slightly bigger, or is it just because that's worn? I mean, that's in good condition, that one, whereas that one not so much. Hold still. So yeah, there they both are. Could be made from the same mould, couldn't it? There you go. That's the pair of them. Probably the same mould, isn't it? Well, I never. Look at that. Medieval belt sliders. Two of.